What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at headliner Dieago Carlos. He is the 86 Brazilian Sevilla centre-back, and honestly, last year this card was absolutely cracked. This year he's got an 85 team at a group stage and an 86 in headliner. No informs, no nothing like that, so it's a very interesting one because normally you need informs if anything. I know that team at a group stage is technically performance based, but I think last year it was specific to informs. This year it's kind of just a bit of everything really. Fabinho hasn't got a single inform and yet he's got one, so I'm not complaining with him because he's quite a good centre back. Is he as meta this year? Probably not. I feel like he's got the stats, but there is obviously something missing because at this moment in time he's coming in at 270 on the Xbox, and this card on FIFA 20 would actually have banged, but unfortunately for this year there is a lot of very good centre backs that you can get. We're going to discuss what he's good at, what he's not good at, and if you should go for this card, or if is there anybody else that you would probably want to go for instead. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let me know how many headliners do you have in your club currently. So we have Dieago Carlos here, 3-star skills, 4-star weak foot, right-footed, standing at 6'1", and like I say, he's a high, medium, defensive to attacking, and he is 27 years old. In terms of traits, solid player. Don't particularly know what that actually does in its entirety, but he's got good pace, great defending, good physicals, and that's about it. He's got 81 composure, which obviously with these cards, I have to take into the consideration that he is a headliner. So obviously if he does get an inform, if he gets a team at a group stage, a hero, a man of the match, this card will go up. And if Sevilla do win 4 in a row, then obviously he will go up +1 as well. Whether they do that is the next, it's kind of like the next statement. They've got to be absolutely on form and pretty much stay away from like that big team in, say, like the 3rd, 4th match. So it's very interesting to see how many teams will actually do that. I believe last year there was only a handful at that actually managed to get the +4. Normally it's the Bayerns. It was Liverpool last year. I think City have got a very good chance at it. It's a very interesting time to see who can actually go 4 in a row, and it has to be 4 wins. I believe a draw makes it null and void, so it means basically they start at 1 again. He is coming in at 270 on the Xbox, and he was 275 I believe on the PlayStation, but he has gone up since then, literally in 10 minutes to 305, so more than likely one has been bought, and then his kind of price range has gone up a little bit. I think for me 270 is not actually that bad with the off chance that he goes up. Personally, I wouldn't like to invest in these sort of cards because they're so up and down. It is unreal. They literally could go from being 500k for 1 match left, say that's their 4th match left. As soon as they lose, he drops down to 150k. The price range is just insane if you don't get the luck of the draw. If you can get them for really cheap and then you hold on to them, then a potential. Maybe they don't do anything for the rest of the season and you've kind of just got a dead card that eventually hits absolutely rock bottom as new cards come out. You're still holding. Say if we get an 87 rated version of somebody who is in the La Liga, maybe Brazilian as well, there you go, that card goes down just for the fact that he's not actually gaining any kind of like interest on his card or any sort of chance of an upgrade. But looking at Dieago Carlos as a card himself, I feel like headliners are not the way to go for investors if you don't know how to do them properly. If you are well aware of everything and you are a very, I'd say you'd have to be kind of like an expert to very knowledgeable trader, then potentially you could make money off them. It is a bit of a gamble. It's high risk, high reward. It's practically like that. It's like buying an icon in the hope that in a month's time he doesn't get an SBC and he goes up in price. But for me, looking at the card, 82 acceleration, very nice. 81 as an overall for pace is very good. We've got 86 defending. It's pretty decent. I'd say it's up there with some of the best defenders in terms of an 86-ish sort of rating. And then we have got good strength and aggression, stamina 77. It will do. Obviously, if he does go up, that does go up as well. But it will do for right now. We've got 82, 80 short and long pass. I say that's pretty good as well. Crossing's obviously the one that's lowering it down the most, but he is a centre-back. Don't expect to be putting any crosses in. And we've got 88 reactions and 81 composure. For me, the straightaway value is A, the composure's a bit low. It's still doable right now, but obviously as we get through team of the year 81 is going to be the old news. It will need to be, I'd say, at least 85 plus at the minimum. Granted, you aren't spending a quarter, like over $500,000. You are spending $250,000, but you aren't spending like $500,000 to $1 million on a card like this to get 81 composure. You'd need that up at least onwards of 85, 86 for me to warrant that straight off the bat. There is plenty of defenders that you can get that have that composure, or even just are more meta suited. Joe Gomez is a massive one we've seen this year. Varane is another massive one we've seen this year. And then we practically go to icons. There's a few obviously special centre backs that people like, but mainly it is them two straight off the bat. But let's get into some gameplay and see what Dieago can do. So if we have a look at him, very quick, great challenge on him, and overall just a nice player to have in your team. He does feel quite agile on the ball. We see him here straight off the bat trying to see what sort of player he is. Can he push forward? Can he go forward with the ball in circumstances where maybe a defender's blocked him in and he needs to take someone on? It's a chance. Sometimes you just oof the ball up, but if you're feeling pretty confident that you are better than your opponent, you want to know that he's able to do it. So I tried him in a whole range of kind of scenarios, just tackling, generic recovery, going forward with the ball, maybe even a cheeky slide tackle here, there and everywhere, just to see what it's all about. And honestly, he passed flying colours. A very, very good centre-back. We see here an absolute wonderfully timed challenge, and that just comes from his ability off the ball as well as on the ball. On the ball, reaction-wise is lovely. We see a lot of kind of like sprinting with him. He's very, very quick, and especially with a shadow going up to 91 pace on a centre-back. You don't get that very often. So we're seeing him here, lovely little ball through, making that assist in case Del Piero needs to go on his own, and then we can see the ball back to Essien. Unfortunately, we didn't try and go for that second pass, which potentially would have been the option. But overall, Dieago was quite a nice player. I always knew that he was going to be a good centre-back. Whether I think he's absolutely meta this year, I feel like he's taken a downgrade in terms of being the forefront of the centre-backs. I feel like team of the season was massive for him, but I think this year it is kind of torched to kind of like Varane, Gomez, maybe Inform Walker would be on a shout there. But if we do go into the overall, as we can see straight off the bat, Shadow is where everybody wants to go with him. Turns him into a 92 rated centre-back, 91 pace, 95 defending. That's where the key maker is on this one. If you whack a Shadow on him, he looks absolutely sublime. There is still a few stats that I would like to get higher, and hopefully as we get more upgrades from him, if we get more upgrades from him, is that we see these kind of points all boosted up. We get more ball control, we get good reactions is already there, to be fair. Composure, maybe more passing would be nice, and a little bit more stamina. And I think this card then is pretty golden because everything else is going to go up naturally. He's got cracking links, obviously in the La Liga, so still nice links to Varane, Courtois, Oblak, ter Stegen, some really good defenders in that league, and obviously Ferland Mendy if you really wanted to, as well as like a Freeze Casemiro if you want the strong link there. Other Sevilla players, obviously we got the Acuna. If you did finish that SBC, you have got such a left back, it's unreal. And then obviously we've got Koundé as this similar player in the same team, but again he required you doing an objective way back at the start of Road to the Final, so I understand if you don't have him. If we did have a look at Liga Santander, obviously the next one would have been Varane. Ramos for me doesn't quite cut it this year. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just him getting older. Doesn't seem as good. You've got Navas as another SBC if you wanted or had done him. And then obviously Jimenez. I've seen a hell of a lot of him recently in a lot of top teams as well. So another good option there. There's plenty of centre-backs. And I think this is the problem this year and why so many of them are not as expensive as what they maybe was last year, because there's so much competition. It depends on where you play in terms of league-wise. Do you have a specific nation? Have you got a hybrid that you just physically cannot fit a La Liga Brazilian in there? Do you need a Spanish La Liga? Do you need a French Premier League? There's so many different factors at the moment, whilst we haven't got a crazy amount of icons to put in your team. At the minute, a lot of people I think have got mainly kind of like mid to good tier icons, but it takes a lot to get like the Hullets, the R9s, the Vieiras, who are going to really take this kind of link and really run with it. But overall wise, I feel like he's a great player. Hopefully he does go further, because we saw his team of the season and he was absolutely cracked. He was in everybody's team, and he's come a long way in literally FIFA 16 to FIFA 21, 5 years, managing to get back-to-back 86 kind of rated cards already. So I'm very happy with him. I feel like he's got a little bit more of a career ahead of him in terms of this FIFA, and hopefully we do see that 88, 89 all the way into a team of the season, Dieago Carlos. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button.